Hey everyone, welcome back to SecureDApp's YouTube channel. As always, this is your host and host Kunal, and today we are back with SecureDApp Spotlight episode 9. So, what is SecureDApp Spotlight? SecureDApp Spotlight is a series where we sit down with industry experts and discuss the latest blockchain and cybersecurity regulations and all that comes in between, real talk, real insight straight from the front lines of web3 and digital security. So let me introduce myself. I'm Kunal Chowdhury, content and community executive and a subject matter expert. With me, I have joined by Mr. Nikhil Prasad. Nikhil Prasad is one of the most promising legal minds shaping the future of blockchain regulation. At SecureDApp, Nikhil is a blockchain regulation expert and a subject matter expert as well, playing a critical role in aligning decentralized technologies with evolving legal frameworks. So without doing any further delays, let me just hand over this mic to Mr. Nikhil Prasad. He will just introduce himself and tell us what we are heading to. So over to you, my friend Nikhil.
So thank you very much, Kunal. So, hey everybody, I'm Nikhil Prasad Singh, and today we are going to cover all the VDA regulations that are in Australia and how to go through all. We will go through each and every of your questions, and you'll getting answers from me as well. So, I am a lawyer and a blockchain and a Web3 expert. So, let's start.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Nikhil, for your intro. So talking about Australia, Nikhil, can you just walk us through the current regulatory framework governing the virtual digital assets, particularly in Australia?
Yeah, certainly. Australia's regulatory approach to virtual digital assets is built on a layered system. Okay, so it is designed to foster innovation while safeguarding the consumers and the financial system. So, at the heart of the regime is Corporation Act 2001, which classifies token that meet the definition of the financial product, such as management investment schemes, derivatives, or securities, as a subject to licensing and disclosure requirements. So, next, the Anti Money Laundering and the Counter-Terrorism Financial Act. So, that is AML and Safety Act, CTF, sorry, Safety Act. So, administered by the Australia, mandates that digital currency exchange providers register, implement robust risk-based programs, and further conduct a customer due diligence and report suspicious matter. Okay, so additionally, ASIC has issued detailed due diligence guidance and detailed diligence guidance, particularly Info Sheet 225, that clarifies criteria for token classification and highlight best practices for the market operators and token issuers. Beyond this, consumer protection laws under the Australian consumer law apply to all market participants, ensuring transparency, fair contract terms, and cybersecurity obligations. Okay, so together, these pillars create a comprehensive yet adaptable environment. Entities dealing in the VDAs must evaluate token characteristics against existing statutes and engage with the regulators proactively. This tri-pillar model balances market development, financial integrity, and consumer safety, positioning Australia as a leading jurisdiction in the digital asset oversight.
Okay. So Nikhil, you mentioned ASIC. So how does ASIC classify different types of tokens under the Corporations Act, particularly in Australia?
Okay, so ASIC employs a functional substance over form methodology when classifying tokens. Rather than relying on tokens label, the regulator examines the features and rights attached to it. So, under the Corporations Act, three key categories trigger financial product status: managed investment schemes, where contributions from investors are pooled; derivatives, which involve contracts whose value is derived from underlying assets; and three, securities or interest in securities, such as shares or debentures, if a token offers profit sharing, dividend, voting rights, or other entitlements akin to equity. It is likely treated as a security. Okay, so similarly, tokens that present contractual agreements for future delivery or settlement of assets fall into the derivatives category. Conversely, token that simply grant access to a network, such as utility tokens, without any expectation of financial return, generally don't constitute financial product. Okay. So nevertheless, they remain subject to AML CTF obligations and consumer protection laws. This interpretative approach ensures that regulatory perimeter captures economically similar treatments instrument and regardless of innovating packaging while providing clear guidance for the market participants assessing their compliance obligations.
Okay. So Nikhil, we talked about licensing. So what licensing requirements apply to VDA service providers?
Okay, so VDA service providers in Australia typically navigate a dual licensing regime based on the nature of their activities. So, firstly, any entity facilitating the exchange, custody, or transfer of VDA must register with the AUSTRAC as a digital currency exchange provider. Okay, sorry. And this registration triggers comprehensive AML CTF obligations, maintaining a risk-based program. Okay, so conducting customer identity verification KYC, monitoring transactions, lodging of suspicious matter reports. Further, providers must appoint a nominated compliance manager and submit annual compliance reports. Okay, so failure to do so can result in heavy fines and deregistrations. Okay, secondly, if the service offering involving dealing in financial products such as security tokens or derivatives, the providers must hold an Australian financial services license under the Corporations Act. This license demands compliance with the conduct obligations, disclosure requirement, and ongoing reporting to ASIC. Further importantly, providers can seek tailored relief via the ASIC Innovation Hub or through the regulatory sandbox, where they negotiate a modified license conditions for the pilot projects. By layering an AML CTF registrations over an AFS license where needed, the regime ensures both financial integrity and investor protections.
Okay. So Nikhil, we already know about AML and CFD. So how are AML and CFD obligations enforced for crypto operators in Australia?
So it's a very important question, Kunal, how the AML anti-money laundering obligations are imposed. So enforcement of AML obligations is the crypto sphere of is rigorous and multifaceted. Okay, so Austrac conducts regular compliance assessments and audits, often coordinated with Global Financial Intelligence Unit. Further, crypto operators must implement a documented AML CTF program tailored to their risk profile covering customer due diligence, transaction monitoring, record keeping, and staff training. Okay. So each license must appoint a nominated compliance manager responsible for ensuring program adequacy and regulatory reporting. Non-compliance has led to significant enforcement actions. For instance, in 2022, Austrac imposed a AUD 3 billion penalty on a major exchange for insufficient KYC measures and suspicious transaction reporting failures. Additionally, Austrac publishes enforcement reports and industry guidance updates to address emerging vulnerabilities, such as layering through peer-to-peer networks. The AML CTF Act also empowers Austrac to issue infringement notices, seek injunctions, and coordinate with international regulators under the FATF standard. Collectively, these mechanisms create a credible deterrent against financial crime and reinforce market integrity.
Okay. So Nikhil, my next question to you is what consumer protection measures should users of VDA be aware of?
It's a very, very important area to cover that how this consumer protection regime is around the VDAs. So, because protection of consumers is the necessary point for because all these regulations are based upon the consumer protection. Okay. So in the VDA ecosystem, consumer protection extends across disclosure, fair contracting, and cybersecurity. So ASIC mandates clear, balanced product disclosure statements for financial token offerings, ensuring investors understand risk fees and governance structures. Further, for non-financial tokens, the Australian consumer law prohibits unfair contract terms requiring platform to offer transparent, accessible users. Okay, so user agreements. Additionally, operators must implement strong cybersecurity measures, including multi-factor authentication, cold storage protocols, and regular security audits to safeguard consumer assets. In the event of platform breaches, the ACL and ASIC's relief powers can facilitate dispute resolution and restitution. Furthermore, ASIC's consumer warning list notifies the public of unlicensed and unscrupulous operator, helping users make informed choices. Users should verify licensing and ostrich registration via public register and choices, and prioritizes platform demonstrating robust governance and assurance of coverage where available. These measures collectively create a safer environment of retail participation, engaging with the digital assets. Okay, so consumer protection is very necessary. Cybersecurity measures you'll have to take. You'll have to see consumer warning list. So you will have to follow all the necessary consumer protection laws that are required by the OSTRAC.
Okay.
Hmm.
Nikhil, I have a question that comes to my mind. So, how does Australia differentiate between security tokens and utility tokens?
Hmm. So security tokens and utility tokens. So first of all, we have to understand for the audience as well that what are utility tokens and the security token. So
Exactly.
utility, okay. So security tokens are something that is provided in exchange for any secure product security. Okay, like traditional securities like profit sharing, dividends, voting rights, or claim of issuers' assets or RWAs or and all that. And utility tokens are something that are provided in exchange for any services, any services that they may provide, like Ethereum, ETH, ETH that we talk about, and all that. So these are all utility tokens. So the key distinction lies in the economic right and expectations associated with the tokens. Okay, so security token conferred entitlements analogous to traditional securities, and they come under the Corporations Act, and issuers of security tokens must produce a compliant prospectus or PDS, obtain AFS licensing, and adhere to continuous disclosure obligation. Further, conversely, utility tokens grant access to platforms, goods, or services without imparting profit entitlements or in ownership rights. As a result, utility tokens typically fall outside ASIC's licensing perimeter but still attract AML, CTF obligation, and consumer protection safeguards. Issuers often rely on token mapping exercises to demonstrate that utility token lack profit motives, documenting use cases and network functionality. This clear bifurcation allows innovators to structure offerings according to the token utility while ensuring securities like tokens maintain rigorous investor protections.
Okay. So that was a nice kind of
Thank you.
explanation from you, Nikhil.
Thank you, man.
So my next question is on stablecoin, Nikhil. So are stablecoins treated differently in Australian, according to the Australian law?
Yeah, man. Yes, Kunal. Stable coins are designed to maintain a stable value, okay, that is relative to the fiat currency or any commodity. So it faces additional scrutiny due to the payment-like function. So if a stable coin redeemable on a demand or for fiat, it may fall under the Payment System Regulations Act and commodity and require oversight by the Reserve Bank of Australia and the Treasury. Projects pegged to the commodities might attract commodity-specific regulations. Moreover, Australian regulators view stablecoin through the lens of financial stability and consumer protection. Okay, so triggering consultation and scrutiny under Treasury stablecoin consultation paper. While stablecoin providers must still register with the OSTRAC and comply with MLCTF regulation, they're also expected to maintain transparent reserves, and undergo periodic audits. Full regulator guidance is anticipated following ongoing Treasury and RBA consultations. It is aiming to ensure redemption guarantees, operational resilience, and clear governance for stablecoin issuers. Okay. And further, everybody, the audience, I would like to state that you'll please go to the SecureDApp product, SecureDApp.io, and visit their products, their secure Solidity Shield, their Secure Watch, and all those smart contract audit tools. So you can have your cybersecurity of your blockchain or your smart contract as a 100%. So please go and visit their website. So it's a damn fabulous product, man. And
Exactly. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you for telling the audience to visit SecureDApp.io for blockchain security and cyber security. So, Nikhil, let's come to our next session. next section rather. So what is Australia stance on decentralized finance?
Okay, so decentralized finance or DeFi, what we call it, presents both exciting innovation and unique regulatory challenges. Okay, so Australian authorities acknowledge DeFi potential to offer permissionless lending, automated market making, and synthetic assets. However, because DeFi protocols often lack centralized operators, applying existing frameworks such as AML CTF registration or exchanges or AFS licensing or financial services can be complex. So ASIC and Treasury are actively engaging market participants through the 2024 DeFi consultation paper. Okay, so exploring tailored approaches to smart contract audits based services. Key consideration include identifying responsible entities or nodes that might bear compliance duties, developing on-chain transaction monitoring standards, and preserving user privacy rights. So, despite uncertainty, DeFi platforms offering swapping, lending, or derivative products currently face AML CTF obligations if they facilitate exchange. So, going forward, Australia may introduce bespoke rules for DeFi operators, potentially requiring proof of responsibility frameworks. So balancing innovation with the anti-financial crime safeguard is very necessary in today's world. So I think Australia and moving in that direction, that it will try to balance the AML safety as well as the decentralized finance as well.
Okay, so really a nice explanation, Nikhil. So, uh, I think that was really insightful, first of all. So, cheers to you, man. So ne my next question is on taxation. So, how are the taxation and reporting requirements for VDAs is structured in Australia?
So it's the most important question for everybody. We as a lawyer
Yes,
also
exactly, exactly.
face these questions
Everyone,
as well. Okay.
everyone needs to know what are the taxation, right, in
Because
each of the
nobody wants
countries.
to pay the government, man. Okay,
Yes.
so see, the Australian Taxation Office, that is, treats cryptocurrencies as property. Okay, so making them subject to capital gains tax on disposal. So, be it selling or fiat, swapping for another token, or using crypto to purchase goods. If activity resembles business operations, profits may be taxed as ordinary income. Businesses accepting VDS must record transaction in AUD at the prevailing market rate and retain detailed logs for 5 years. Importantly, GST no longer applies to digital currency exchanges or transfers since the 2017 reforms, simplifying transactional recording. Okay, so however, stablecoin issuance or token launches may attract stamp duty or transactional taxes. Depending on state regulations, companies issuing tokens should consider whether initial coin offerings, such as ICOs, constitute fundraising events requiring disclosures under the Corporations Act. Okay, so the ATO provides a crypto taxpayers guide with worked examples as well. So I'll suggest you should visit the crypto taxpayer guides. And further, they clarify on the record keeping, tax treatment of the staking rewards and reporting thresholds. Okay, so KPMG and Deloitte also published regular tax alerts for crypto specific development, which can serve as a supplementary guidance for the complex structure.
Correct, Nikhil, correct.
Yeah.
So, Nikhil, my next question is on sandbox. So, can
Mm.
you explain the regulatory sandbox initiatives available for VDAs to VDA innovators particularly?
Yeah. Sandbox is something that is in almost every country that is moving towards a generalized balanced regulations as well. So to foster innovation, Australia offers two key sandbox programs. ASIC Innovation Hub. It provides guidance and tailored relief for fintech projects, including BDAs, startups can apply to receive for informal feedback, sandbox relief for limited licensing concessions, and expedited assessment of license applications. Separately, the Treasury regulatory sandbox obligations such as reduced AFS licensing conditions for a period of up to 12 months subject to caps on user numbers and transaction volume. Participating entities negotiate conditions with the regulators, ensuring investor safeguards while testing novel products. So, and where that is where the tools like SecureDApp's comes in. Their compliance suite integrates seamlessly into sandbox environments, offering automated KYC flows, real-time audit trails, and customized AML routes, enabling innovators to demonstrate robust compliance and streamline feedback cycles with regulators.
Okay, Nikhil. Uh, so the next question that comes to my mind is, what are the notable enforcement actions have we seen against the crypto operators?
Okay, so Australia's regulator have taken firm action against non-compliant operators. In June 2022, Austrac fined a major exchange of 3 million Australian dollar for poor customer verification and failure to report suspicious transactions. So they have highlighted the seriousness of these AML safety breaches. Okay, so more in March 2024 as well, ASI issued, I think, infringement notices totaling up to 500,000 of the Australian dollars to two token issuers for offering unlicensed financial products like without a prospectus. So additionally, coordinated enforcement by Austrac and enforcement partners has targeted peer-to-peer platform, facilitating ransomware payment, resulting in asset fees and criminal referrals. So these actions underscore regulators' commitment to market integrity and signaling that entities must maintain robust compliance frameworks for or face severe penalties.
Okay. So Nikhil, one more question on VDA is, how does Australia coordinate with cross-border VDA regulations?
Okay, so Australia actively engages with global standard settling bodies to align its video oversight with the best practices. So, as a member of the Financial Action Task Force, Austrac implements the FATF travel rule and collaborates on typologies regarding reports regarding virtual assets and money laundering. So, the crypto asset reporting framework that is complements domestic tax reporting, facilitating information exchange with international tax authorities. Further, Australia has bilateral MOUs with regulators all over the world, like Singapore and UK and Canada, in enabling joint investigation and mutual assistance in enforcement within the APEC and G20 forums. Okay, so Australia advocates for the interoperable standard on custody, consumer protection, and crypto taxation. So this global coordination bolsters domestic efforts by ensuring regulators can trace illicit flows and align regulatory approaches, reducing regulatory arbitrage.
Okay. So, what are the upcoming reforms or legislative changes that the industry should anticipate?
Hmm. So there are several significant reforms are on the horizon, man. The Treasury Laws Amendment Act 2025 will extend new product governance and intervention powers to digital assets offering, enabling ASIC to intervene if product pose undue harm. Meanwhile, the AML CTF Act 2.0 package expected mid 2025 will broaden registry obligations to include DeFi protocols and stablecoin issuers under enhanced due diligence and transaction monitoring requirements. Okay, so consultation is also underway for a bespoke digital asset service provider licensing regime, which would consolidate AML, CTF, and AFS duties into a single licensing class, promoting regulatory clarity. Additionally, uh, Treasury's stablecoin bill anticipated in late 2025 aims to establish a clear framework for redemption, reserve management, and consumer disclosure for issuers as well. So these reforms reflect the government's commitment to the balancing innovation with the market stability. So they want to innovate themselves as well. But they want consumer due diligence as well. So they are moving forward with a very good, I think, very good rules and regulation. And let's see what the future holds. We'll just have to wait and see approach.
Got your point. Got your point. So, the next question is, how should startups and innovators, uh, or rather, what should be the startup and innovators' approach compliance with Australia's VDA regulations?
So startups should adopt a proactive risk-based compliance strategy from the outset. So begin with comprehensive token mapping exercise to the classify offering against the Corporation Act and AML CTF definition, documenting the tokens functions, rights and governance model, engaging early with ASIC the Innovation Hub and Austrac's Industry Liaisons Unit to clarify regulatory expectations and explore sandbox relief. So invest in a robust AML CTF framework, implement audited automated KYC KYB workflows, real-time transaction monitoring, and periodic independent audits. Simultaneously, develop clear product disclosure materials and terms of use aligned with the Australian consumer law. You have to leveraging integrated compliance platforms like SecureDApp as well, man. They are accelerating readiness by the providing modular KYC AML rules engine and reporting dashboards, reducing manual overhead, and ensuring scalability as a transaction volume grows. So finally, maintain ongoing communication with the regulators, industry associations, and legal advisors to stay abreast of emerging guidance and legislative changes.
Okay. So, how does the offshore trust structure interact with VDA holdings under Australian law?
So see, the offshore trusts are frequently used by the high net worth individuals and institutional investors to hold VDAs for estate planning. Okay, so asset protection and tax optimization. So under Australian law, the trustee residency status is crucial. First of all, if the trustee is an Australian resident, all offshore trust income, including gains from VDAs, must be declared to the ATO, triggering potential capital gains and withholding tax obligations. Conversely, if the trustee is non-resident and trust meets the certain fixed trust criteria, distribution to the Australian beneficiaries may incur Australian tax on VDA proceeds. Okay, so when they vest or are paid out, moreover, the trust deed explicitly permit digital asset investment and outline custodial arrangements. Some jurisdictions require direct asset of segregation, complicating the VDA custody from AML's perspective. Australian beneficiaries and controllers engaging with the foreign trust must ensure that the offshore custodian or the trustee adheres to the Austrac equivalent AML standards. Okay, so otherwise the trust obligation distribution may be flagged or enhanced due diligence. This interplay underscores the importance of tailored trust deeds, clear beneficiary reporting, and alignment with the both Australian tax and AML regulations.
Okay. So, what considerations apply when listing a VDA on both Australian and international exchanges?
Okay, so you are talking about dual listing. So dual listing VDAs offer liquidity and broader market access, but introduces regulatory complexity. First, issuers must navigate jurisdiction-specific registration and disclosure requirement. And in Australia, listing of financial tokens require an AFS license, a compliant prospectus or PDS, while international platforms may have varying token classification frameworks. So, coordinated disclosure must reconcile difference in financial reporting standards to avoid inconsistent avoid investor communication. AML CTF regulations obligations differ by jurisdiction, necessitating multi-jurisdiction KYC processes and transaction monitoring system that adhere to both Austrac and foreign regulators. So smart contract code audits and cyber security certification accepted by one regulator may need additional validation elsewhere. So tax reporting becomes more integrated, uh, gains realized on exchanges must be tracked in AUD, requiring rigorous record keeping and currency conversion. Finally, legal opinion on token classification and compliance attestation should cover each region regulatory nuance to reassure both domestic and international investment.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
man.
it was really insightful from you, Nikhil. Each aspect you are touching, you are uh, detailing the answers for the audience. Thank you, really thank you from the bottom of my heart, because our audience are getting the real info that they are looking for. So, Nikhil, the next question is, or rather, the final question is, how do data privacy and GDPR look like? GDPR-like standards affect video operations in Australia.
Okay, so Australia's primary privacy framework, the Privacy Act 1988, and the Australian Privacy Principle govern the handling of personal information by video platforms. While not identical to the EU GDPR Australia is negotiating alignment through the proposed privacy legislation amendment, Bill 2024, which introduces stricter breach notification requirement and users consent mechanism. So, platform operating cross-border must ensure that personal data collected for KYC ML is stored and processed in compliance and APP's 8 cross-border disclosure rules. where relevant, adhere to the GDPR provisions on data subjects, right? Such as access, ratification, and erasure. Additionally, decentralized identify solutions can help balance privacy and compliance, allowing users to verify information without exposing raw data. So, VDA operators should conduct privacy impact assessment, implement encryption at rest and in transit, and maintain clear privacy policies that reflect both Australian and international obligations.
Okay. Thank you, Nikhil. This was the
Thank you,
last
man.
question, as I already mentioned to you.
I
So
hope the
thank you so
audience
much.
I hope the audience
Thank
has
you.
got their own all the answers.
Exactly. Exactly. Thanks to the audience as well. But before we end this session, any final words or advice for the audience who are watching? And after that, we can just wrap up.
Okay, so see the balancing of innovation instead incentive with the consumer protection will be very critical. So there will be many restrictive measures that will come in any law over the world. So please be compliant with that. Don't don't become non-compliant, because if you think compliance is very costly, just just face the non-compliance and then you will feel what is the cost is. So that's all.
Thank you, Nikhil. So, thank you, audience. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Nikhil, for joining. So, if you like this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, families, and colleagues. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SecureDApp. We will be back with our final episode of SecureDApp Spotlight Season 1 with Nikhil. I hope Nikhil will be joining with me.
Yeah, man.
Sure. So that will be the final episode of season 1. We will be back with season 2. Don't worry. Which will be more insightful, more with some real insights on it. So stay tuned. Still then, we will be uploading these videos very soon. So don't get panicked. The final episode will be uploaded after some time. So thank you for watching and subscribe to SecureDApp's YouTube channel. And till then, stay safe, stay secure, and as always, stay ahead. Thank you,
Thank
Nikhil,
you.
and thank you, audience.
Thank you, man. Thank you.